Hey guys, so for today's video, all you're gonna need is a t-shirt, scissors, needle and thread, or a sewing machine, or you could use glue. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and cut off the top piece of that shirt from the armpits and up. Because we don't need that part, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that piece off. And once you're done cutting that off, what we're gonna do is go ahead and try that shirt on, so you know how cropped you want it to be, because it has to be cropped to a certain extent because you need extra shirt at the bottom to be able to make strings. So it has to be cropped. You need to make 4 strings, so keep that in mind when you're cutting the length that you want. So yes, after we finish cutting this piece off, that is what we're gonna do. You're gonna try it on. I already know what length I want mine to be, so I'm gonna get straight into cutting off that excess part. Now, once you go ahead and cut that, this is the bottom piece that we're going to use to go ahead and make our strings. So you can move the other 2 pieces out of the way, or you can leave them there, but you're going to go ahead and cut about, I don't know it exactly, but I would say, if I guess, a 1/2 inch thick strings, and you're going to just cut all the way, going up the whole piece, making one long piece of string. And we're going to cut 3 of those. So you'll just repeat that 3 times. And you can see how thick I'm cutting them, and you can cut them as thick as you want, but like I said, you're gonna, in total for this entire shirt, you're gonna need 4. So you need to make sure that you're cutting them small enough or thick enough to the point where you can be able to have enough shirt to actually make the entire shirt. And so yes, that's 1, and go ahead and cut 2 more. And now that we have our 3 strings, what you're going to do is go ahead and cut them in half. And what you want to do is lightly stretch them so that you can cover up any imperfections. If you didn't cut it evenly, that is what you're doing. The stretching will help make it look like it's just one perfect string. And when you're stretching, you want to be careful and don't pull too hard, because they can pop. So just lightly pull them to the point where you see is like mine, and it's just an even string, and you're just going to repeat that for the other 2 pieces. After you have go ahead and stretched your strings, you want to go ahead and try on that piece of shirt to make sure that your shirt fit, and that if you need to cut off any excess of that shirt so it could stay up on you, this is the part where you're going to do that. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and cut 1 layer of the shirt. Do not cut through both layers. 1 layer of the shirt, and this is the back, cut straight down the middle to open it up to make one long rectangle. And this is after you have tried this piece on to make sure that you know if it's going to stay up or not. Like I said, because you're going to see me cut off excess because the shirt is too big. So this is me cutting off to make sure that it's going to fit and stay up on me perfectly. So yes, once you cut it open and you have it open like this, go ahead and cut off the excess you might need to, and if not, you're going to go ahead and just lay it out like this anyway and just wait for the next step. So once you laid it out, you're going to go ahead and try it on again and make sure it's perfect, because once you sew on your strings, there's no coming back. But yes, I have got it to the length that I want, and now I'm just showing you guys me laying those strings out, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it perfectly in half. So we're going to cut each one of those strings in half, and so we're going to have a total of 6 strings. I'm just showing you the layout. This is exactly how you would go ahead and begin to lay your strings out, and this is how you're going to sew or glue on your strings. This is exactly how. So 3 on each side. So I'm using a needle and thread, so if you're using it, you go ahead and gather your needle and thread and begin to sew them on. And now that we're on the second side, you're just going to repeat that same process and evenly distribute the strings and sew them down. And a quick tip to help you sew them down easier would be to, on the part where you're sewing it down, the string down on the shirt, open that string up to make it flat so that it's more to sew down rather than just a very, very tiny little piece to sew on that shirt. To give you more room and to give you more security, to make sure it's going to stay on there, just open it up a little bit. It's done. Here is how it looks on after you sew all those pieces on and tie it on in the back. And the next thing you're gonna do is go ahead and lay that shirt out and grab that little excess piece that you had left of that shirt and go ahead and cut one more string like the ones we did earlier. This is the last string that you're going to have, and just follow that process we did earlier and cut one string. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, and then cut it open, making one long string, and go ahead and stretch it out, making sure that you're doing that lightly still. And this is going to be the string that's going to go around your neck. So yes, you're going to go ahead and open that, stretch it, and then cut it open. And I already knew the estimate of how long the string needed to be, but just to make sure you don't mess it up or cut the string too short, I would advise you to go ahead and just leave the length that it is, and then put the string around your neck and try it on to make sure that you don't cut it too short. But like I said, you see me right here, go ahead and cutting that piece to the length that it needs to be for around my neck. And I'm also going to cut off any excess, because it was some excess piece on that shirt that I did not like, that I wouldn't want to be seen. So yes, I cut that off before I went ahead and cut off the excess piece of that string that I won't need. Right there, boom. And then here's me showing you how to do the neck part. So all you're gonna do is put the string around your neck and just cross it, and right there, all you see me doing is just see around my neck and just cross. And you're gonna see me just trying to see exactly where I want to lay it, and that's what you do. You just keep playing with it to figure out exactly where you want to lay those strings and make sure they're even and to your liking. And basically all you're gonna do is sew it on the inside part of that shirt, and I kept my shirt on and sewed it on because it was easier that way. But if you can't, you could either ask somebody to do it for you, or if you're gluing it, you should be able to glue it. If you could just pin it in place and then glue one by one, it should be easy like that. But yes, this is the ending of how to do that shirt. Very simple. And yes, go ahead and sew those last two pieces down, and here is the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from this video. If you have any comments, drop them below. Don't forget to watch my previous video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.